This video is sponsored by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Enjoy the video. I'm back to high school. I have come to ride my skateboard and prove to all these fools that dropping out of high school for skateboarding was such a good idea. Huh? You hear me, fools?
We don't know you at all, and we especially don't care about whoever you are.
Today is Sunday, which means it's skate day. You go to schools, you skate, it's tradition. After school, that's all I did. We'd go type in high schools, whatever city we're in, and we'd go to those high schools and we'd ride our skateboards because that's usually where the spots are. Don't know why there's so much architecture, because apparently teaching children is important. So I am here today to find some spots. But maybe you've seen on Twitter that I asked the question, what's the most important thing that you learned in high school? That is the biggest turd on the planet. I almost stepped on it. That would have covered my entire body. So thankfully, is that a cow? I brought up the conversation of high school because I said high school was a little underwhelming for me in terms of like what I took away from it. It was kind of nothing. And that's actually why I quit early. Like in 11th grade, I had literally decided to drop out of high school, and I went to the guidance counselor and I was like, yo, I'm out. What am I doing? I'm spending 6 hours a day, literally for like 180 days, doing nothing, learning nothing of any value. And he was like, yeah, I feel you. He's like sitting there looking into the wind like, what have I done with my life? And he looked at my scores or whatever, and he's like, actually, you have like enough credentials just to pass. He's like, if you want to graduate a year early, you take one summer online course, you're done. You're like, you've basically done everything you need to do with all of high school. So that summer, I took an online course and I graduated 1 year early. So I actually was going to drop out of high school, literally, and instead I graduated a year early. So it all worked out for the better for me. But do I ever look back at that moment like, what if I had actually dropped out? What would my life have turned into? Would I be able to do any of this? And the answer is obviously yes. I'm a YouTuber and a professional skateboarder. You do not need any kind of degree. All they care about is, can you do the tricks? Can you make the videos? And that's how we are where we are. But this is what happened when I asked you humans about what you thought about that situation. Here, maybe we can walk in the sun to try to get like a different angle or something. My fiance found use in high school because she learned how to edit, and that's what she does now. She is a massive YouTuber who's good at editing, and she's incredible, and it's awesome. But do you really think she wouldn't learn how to edit just on YouTube when the time came? Obviously, she would have just figured that out. So even though she gives high school the credit because that is the place where she figured it out, it's not the only place she could have learned, and she absolutely would have learned it anywhere else if she wanted to do it. That's the way she is. She's a go-getter. Today, this day and age, I've talked to kids who say, I love high school. High school's super fun. I love getting with my bros and my sisters and doing the things and hanging out, and I love that. And I love that you love that. And if you're having a good time, great. And if it's worth going to college and paying a lot of money for a degree that you know you're gonna use and that's gonna be important, then I get that too. But that is a lot of money to invest, and that is a lot of debt to take up. And trust me, anyone who I've talked to about debt, school debt, has only talked about how hard it is to deal with. Nobody has ever said like, oh, whatever, it's mellow, I got like $100,000 I owe, but it's not a big deal. They are like struggling, and they are like, I can't believe I owe this. Life is painful, and this is hard. And is it really worth living like more than 10 years with like this stressful burden of school? I don't know. I'm sitting here telling you just my personal experience. I don't know what school is like for you. I don't know if you love it, etc., etc. Anyways, let's get to the skateboarding. I just wanted to touch on that because it's something I think about all the time. But before this radical skateboard session and my final thoughts on this whole high school thing, a word from our very attractive sponsor, Squarespace. I've had a website forever. I've been using Squarespace forever. It was actually really cool that they hit me up because I found their website extremely intuitive, especially with building an online store. It was really easy. A lot of my friends, including Brian Arnett, they use Squarespace just because it's the easiest platform, and they've just grown so much over the years. It's kind of insane to see the progress and things they've added to their website, like having email campaigns. It's amazing that they now have that. They have like their own social media on their website. You can like and comment, build up your whole entire blog yourself. Pages, galleries, blogs, commerce, pretty much anything that any creative, especially you know, artists who want to put up their artwork. It's like the perfect place to have like your own gallery and have people come and be like, dude, this is what you're all about. It's basically the perfect portfolio thing. If you already have a domain, it's really easy to switch over. It's also really, really easy to buy a domain from the website. You just type in the name you want, and if it pops up, you buy it. They finally made that whole progress simple. Even my fiance the other day was just like, I can't believe how much stuff they've added in the last year, and it's true. Squarespace is extremely easy to figure out how to use. It's basically just drag and drop, and it basically just tells you how to move forward with everything. But if you want to actually sign up, go to squarespace.com/JohnHill to save 10% off your first purchase or domain. Or you can just click the link in the description down below. Even if you don't have an online store, for anybody who wants to have a job in creative, I would 100% encourage actually building your portfolio via Squarespace. So link in the description down below. If you want to follow my Twitter, you can kind of see like conversations like this. It was really cool that people kind of like started talking to each other in the comments, and everybody was super cool. But one of the, the ones that got the most likes is my friend Roberto Blake. He's all about like teaching and creative entrepreneurship, and he's like a really rad dude. But he commented that high school or college was never built to optimize me and bring me up to my full potential. So I love that he's like saying himself, and just like I'm trying to say, it's like, I'm talking about me. You know, you could be a completely different case, and that's totally okay, and that's for you to know and you to learn. He said, because they never invested in what I was good at or aligned it to what value I could produce. So a lot of times school, since they have the same curriculum for a lot of kids, most people actually learn differently. Like there isn't just the like 3 ways to learn. There's like, every kid has a perfect way where he can learn, and unfortunately school can't provide that because it's just not practical. How can you give every single kid his own 100% criteria? It's very hard. He said they kept trying to make me fit instead of build on who I was, which is not a good thing, right? Trying to get a kid to kind of be a certain way rather than, showing him that real life doesn't work that way. A life a lot, business a lot, you can actually make the world kind of work in your favor in a sense. And I feel like individualism is something that you learn more out of school. And then he says, I learned I wasn't what was broken, ... which is like, emotional in a sense. And that's cool. That's awesome, because this dude he kills it. He probably makes a ton of money, let's be honest.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Good, that looks fun. Most kids don't have the choice to drop out of high school, and their parents would beat them senseless or put them in the streets if they even tried. And then college is somewhat of a similar experience. I mean, even for me, I had a lot of pressure, Korean mother, military father, but they still let me experiment. They're like, yeah, if you're going to do something, go do something. Otherwise, do this thing that we're asking. So that to me was a really good lesson of like, sometimes life is about like, hey, if you want to not do the traditional thing, that's great, of course, find your own path, but find it, go. Like, you have to go get your path if you're not going to do the traditional thing. Otherwise, you might as well do the traditional thing if you're someone who has a lot of trouble doing things on your own. Last thing I want to read, just because I think this is probably, the summarization of everything, is honestly, my most valuable lesson, this is by Brandon Ken, goes along with your theme. I learned institutionalized systems are often not the best path and certainly don't guarantee happiness or success. And I think the thing with being a kid is that a lot of people tell you that you want to aim for this thing of happiness and success, but let me be the one to tell you that neither of those two things are objectively a thing. Like, happiness per individual is a different thing. Success is a different thing. Some people might tell you success is making $1 million, which is just not true. Like, I guess it is subjective, so I shouldn't say that as a definitive statement, but I believe wholeheartedly that has nothing to do with success by any measure, unless I don't think it's a healthy thing to be like, making $1 million, there's luck involved in some ways. Obviously, there can be practical approaches to that, but a lot of times, a lot of traditional success in a lot of industries have a lot to do with luck. So you can't think, if I don't get lucky in certain ways, I am not successful. Like, that is just not fair to do to yourself. So you have to find your own definition. But for me, of course, success, happiness, I don't even think happiness really is a word that I use in my dictionary. I use the word excitement. Anytime I feel excited, I consider that happiness. So when I wake up in the morning excited to do something, that is my version of happiness, and that is my version of success. So anytime I'm like, damn, I wanna go land a kickflip, I have literally succeeded and obtained the goal in life. I am happy, content, excited, and successful in that moment for just wanting to do something, wanting to improve. That thirst, keeping that thirst alive and keeping that excitement about life alive and making the world seem bigger and bigger and bigger and dreaming bigger and bigger about cool, new, exciting things and just stimulating yourself, to me, that is success and happiness and all that stuff. So try not to, let the traditional path tell you that you have to do this, 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 and this to finally be happy. That is the ultimate goal, because you really don't need, you don't need an ultimate goal, but if it's fun for you, have it. Happiness, all that stuff. Don't think that you're someone who can't achieve it. It's right there. So anyways, thank you for watching. I'm gonna end this video because, I gotta make more videos, dude. I've been like blowing it with some of these videos trying to get out content on time. So hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Take care, progress daily, and keep killing it.